Hello, everybody. It is Mike Levin on Monday, May 16th, 2022. And today I thought I'd do something a little different. Share with you the publishing of some of my original poetry, which pops into my head when I need it, almost like a fugue state that makes me think of the character Azrael from Batman, who took over when Bane broke Bruce Wayne's back, and he went into these states and woke up, and what he needed to fight crime was there. So this poem is called Honestly Fonzie, and it's here in my Apple Notes, which is where I do some things when I'm on my phone, which easily transfer over here to the desktop. And I am going to go into my journal, my public journal, MikeLev.in. Mike Levin, it's my name. My name is my domain. Just put the dot before the IN. And I use my macro to start a new journal entry. I thought I do. At J. Apparently, I wrote over my macro, so I'm going to quit out. Have to do it twice because of how many things I load into Vim at once, including here my private journal. But the very next journal is this one here, and now my macro should be active again. And I will paste it in here and then do a dramatic reading. You can of course read ahead, but I will use Vim's visual selection with Shift W to jump word by word to read it to you. It's called Honestly Fonzie. Honestly Fonzie, I think that you rule, though Henry Winkler is really who's cool. I won't start a church or treat chicks like cigars, but am tickled pink you sent greetings from Mars. Of all of your lessons, that beats even Rocky. And hit me most hard are the brothers Malaki, whose greasy cajoling gave rise to the hunch. When Pinky starts stalling, prepare for a crunch. Not Sun Tzu, nor Nietzsche, nor even the Prince has reached quite an audience ever or since. In my estimation, not icons nor dons even come close to the power of fawns. And that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoy. I will save that. And I do my release system generally from in here, but I saw it was sitting over here as well. I must have been preparing to do a release for some other thing. So I have a real wordplay joke. The script is called blast.sh, and the actual release script, if I am in Vim and do b last for the last buffer, this is my release script. So it's the same thing. Runs through all my sites, creates the YAML files for each site, updates my slice and dice program from out of my Jupyter notebook, and then it starts slicing the different blogs, of which I have a few at the beginning that are not really the blogs, of which MikeLev.in is the first and the biggest, because it also contains my old Mike Levin site, which was WordPress based. So when it does the little Git magic in here, it has a lot of files to walk through. It gives me a warning as such. There's little database index updating things I do to speed it up at once in a while, but I'll start pruning it. And you can see there have been changes on that site, as opposed to mike@11.com, my weekly reports for work, MikeLevinSEO.com, Linux, Python, Vim, Git.com, PythonicAlly.com, TardigradeCircus.com. These all have no edits, which you can see your branch is up to date with origin main, nothing to commit. So it really is all this scrolling past just to do that first site. And I'm sort of biding time because the Jekyll system takes a moment to actually update the site. And I have a little before and after set up. So it gets to done, then every 10 seconds it'll repeat that message, press any key to continue, and then it waits there until I actually do that, or it says waiting for the key press, excuse me. So I hit a key and it just exits out. If I did it from within Vim, it would go back to the file I was editing. So the before and after is set up somewhere. I thought I had it set up. Oh, it is this file. I go into my blog. It's not a before and after. Well, it will be a before and after because I'm going to have to give it a name. It's my 50th blog post on this blog here, and that is it. But we go back to the file that's open, B2, and I do my ampersand H for giving it a headline. And I guess I'll just go down here and bring that back up to this headline. And now I'll run it with @G from inside Vim, so you can see it. This is how you adapt Vim, the VI improved text editor, written by Bram Molyneux and released in approximately 1991 on Amiga computer, Fred Fish disk. Maybe it was something like 560 or 590. And I had that disk. I held it in my hand at the Philadelphia Amiga user group that met at Drexel University in those days. And I loaded it once and looked at it and did not come back to Vim for many, many years. I've been using Vim for about 10 years, but that was in like 91 or 92 at the latest, so that was quite a bit longer ago. So I finally found my way back to Vim, and it has become my secret weapon, my place of thought. But as you can see, it's not my exclusive writing location. I'll use whatever's available. So inspiration and ideas fall down on you like rain, and it is your job to catch it, to catch that inspiration, and to allow it to start to actualize, to realize it. And the first step is capturing it in whatever's convenient. I don't care if you email it to yourself in an email program. Just these notes things, this plus Simple Note, you see on my desktop, I keep Simple Note and Apple Notes right next to each other. Apple Notes is where I'm trying to go because it offers some security, HTTPS and end-to-end encryption optionally, not on all the time, but on a per note basis. Simple Note does not offer those assurances. It is neither HTTPS, I don't think, nor is it end-to-end, much less. So only use this, but the features are great of Simple Note. It keeps pulling me back in, but only use it for non-secure stuff. Use Apple Notes for secure stuff. Not that my Fonzie poem was really all that secure, but now we should have a before and after. This is how my publishing system works. Every time I create something in my blog post, in my journal.md files, it becomes independent, pages here. And this one is not formatted well, so I guess I'll keep this going and I'll do one more thing, right? I hit my key and I'm back in here, and I'll do Control V, down arrow, Shift I, greater than space, escape key, and then this is not a macro I normally have, but I do happen to know that @A, no, that is not correct. Careful, my friend, you are live streaming. Okay. What we're going to do is record a new macro. So I'm going to do QA. I'm going to start putting it in A. And I'm going to do Shift A to start appending at the end of the line. Less than BR. It's going to be a singleton. So BR space / close bracket. 0 escape to get out of insert mode, 0 to go to the beginning of the line, and J to go next line, Q to stop recording the macro. Then I play the macro that's @A, and then I go @, and it's like an @ marching across Hoth, you see. @ and save it and run my release system again. And then think of something else to tell you about. I try and research my stuff as you go. This is loaded with references to stuff, right? So Yeah, this Family Guy, Bill Clinton, the book Mars, of course Rocky, the actual episode that I'm talking about with the Malachi brothers who do the Malachi Crunch, and Pinky for Pinky Tuscadero. So of course she stalls out, and they do this thing where they come in with cars from either side of her and crunch her car and send her to the hospital. So when your car stalls out, expect the not so trustworthy people to pull their crap on you. That's exactly when you expect the dirty tricks, when you're at your weakest. Okay, that's just fact. And, it's such wisdom that came out through a TV sitcom from the heydays of Happy Days. Happy Days is what this is, if you don't know. I'm talking about, rock around the clock all night. Dun, 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 dun. I can't even do it. But you got your references to, of course, three of the greatest strategy books ever written, and Reaching an Audience, and Icons and Dons. That's arguably a reference to Steve Jobs, who created actual icons and became an icon himself, and The Godfather, of course, popularized the concept of Dons. And that should be enough time, I think. There we go. Oh, see, one more error. I changed the number of lines on my slicing token. That's a big no-no. So that key press that I did accidentally, changed the number of lines here. So I'll just delete that, and I'll just show you how to insert it. Escape, save it just for safekeeping, and I'm hitting 80 inserts of a minus. Hit the escape key. There's 80 inserts of a minus, and one more release of my release system. It seems like a long way to go on the release system to go through this whole script, and I might optimize it somehow or other, but I guess what I was showing you is do my research, right? I was referring to things in the poem. One of the things was, who was that who stalled out that the cars came and crunched on, and it was Pinky Tuscadero. So that worked out rhyme-wise. I mean, cajoling, which is what these, grease balls did. I mean, and no racial stuff intended, but in these days, they actually used a lot of grease in their hair, right? There's another pair that have had even more profound impact on me than the Malachi brothers. And honestly, these two guys who are still around and who are so dear to my heart, who came from the same show, are, in fact, Lenny and Squiggy. You see them in Star Trek, you see them in crime shows, and their voices are totally iconic. This guy is the voice of the weasels or the voice of a weasel from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And they had this fictional band that I think landed them the job. I should watch this and play it for you. But really, my release system is probably done, and we're zeroing in on the correct presentation, and here it is. So this is like highly search optimized. I don't expect Google to start picking this stuff up yet, but there's honestly Fonzie in the URL. I believe it's in the title tag. Do I not have it in the title tag of the individual pages yet? That's a problem. View page source, title. You see me early in the process. Yeah, it's not there. I'm going to have to make sure that my system plugs in things like the title tag of the page in the right location. Right now, it's just the two different ways of referring to the site. I'm on a roll. Maybe I'll show you that. I should check my live stream, see if people are interested in seeing me keep going and doing some nutty stuff like optimizing my system. Yeah, y'all tuned out. It was up to 3 simultaneous views. I had you there for a while. But, what the heck. Whew. Take a deep breath. See if you can do this. You're on a roll there, kid. Keep going. All right, so the objective is to go into my system where I keep my templates, CD, That's in my helpers file, and it's in the template subfolder there. And that is in the post template. And title, yeah, page title, page.title. So I guess the page.title is coming from out of the, oh, yeah, I write it in there to be part of the blogging system. This would be a venturing into the Jupyter Notebook. How deep in this rabbit hole do you want to go? Yeah, you know, why not? Why not, right? Let's do it. Jupyter Lab, which I don't have loaded right now, which is a very unusual thing. I was getting focused for doing this live stream, and I must have quit out of it and put my browser on Windows 2, which is very unusual. Windows 2, almost in all cases, without exception, has this Jupyter Lab standalone version running on it, because I consider it even more important than the web browser. So it's an Electron app. Doesn't load fast. Electron app means while it's a desktop app and a native desktop app, it's built from the same components as Google Chrome. And there it is. This is the blog release system. I can see because it's in the blog slicer directory. And I do believe I write out the YAML files for each thing here. Front matter, I put the front matter in title, blog underscore title. So the title is the blog title. I don't particularly want that. I want it's coming in as a Python variable here. These curly brackets here are Python's F string curly brackets. They're not Jekyll's curly brackets. So I do need to think this through. I feed that in on a per blog basis. So that's why it's the same across all of them. The YAML file is created for the page before it gets to, oh, that's kind of unfortunate. As it spins through, I do have a title here, but the YAML for the page, I believe, has already been built by that point. I'm going to look to see. Maybe I rewrite those. No, this is YAML being written here. So there's another title being set here. And there it is. Whew. For some reason, that is ending up with the site. So a little bit of diagnostics and a little more insight as to what's going on. We don't need this one loaded anymore. We'll quit out of that. I'll bring up another terminal. And we do some slice and dicing. I hear my kid. They might be coming down, so I might wrap this up real quick. cd live.in/_posts ls. Here are all the posts. Vim star. Oh, look at that. The correct titles are in there. I have the titles of each blog post in there. So, page.title. I seem to be doing the right thing. There is that. And it is my Fonzie page. I'm not going to make you sit through this. There's probably someone out there watching me do all this going, I can't believe you don't see it. Just look right there. But this should be page.title coming from the front matter of the raw file, which is what we were looking at right here. This is the front matter. In Jekyll terminology, the stuff between these triple minus signs is the front matter. And I load this stuff in there. Let's look at Honestly Fonzie. That should probably be the last one. So blast. There we go. And there it is, title, page.title. Is it just a refresh thing? Am I just being silly and not noticing it having actually updated from a prior page load? No, I definitely have something strange going on. So the template is suspect. I might not have the right template in place. I was looking at the template from my centralized location, but cd ... underscore layouts ls vim post title. There's page.title. Oh, h1 is page.title, not my title. Oh, this is overriding the default. So the layout, okay, so it's picking up the default. I was looking the wrong place. When I was looking at page.title, it's the headline, and of course the headline is page.title. So I can vim default, and there's the title. It's site.title. Site.title. I'm going to change it to page.title, and I'm going to do it separate from the release system. Git commit. Changed blog template. Git push. And now you should see things take a major step towards becoming a truly optimized site. Although honestly, that one little change from a Jekyll standpoint is going to create this whole cascading series of events, and not just update my one single page, because this is cross-cutting again along the entire blog. Now, there's not that many pages in the blog, but it is regenerating them all. This is a static file generation. What do they call it? Static site generators. It's an SSG, so there's an SSG behind all this. And the page is really going to look identical, except for what's plugged up in that tab. I'll see if it updated yet, and I'll bide some time while it's doing its update. In defense of flying monkeys and recrimination of the anti-narc community, which is a reference to narcissist, not undercover cops. So these are the much maligned flying monkeys of the Wizard of Oz, which is used as language in the, anti-narcissist online community. And there's not a lot of people to step up and defend the flying monkeys, who are really much more noble creatures than the movie makes out. So, yeah, there was that one. And then there's this wonderful story of When I Grew a Backbone, the story of the samurai mud skipper. You should really check it out. We measure time. See, I'm waiting for something. We're measuring time. See, when I grew a bat, look, I can tell it's done. So I go up here, I go here, and I do a refresh. Honestly Fonzie, search optimized blog. And yeah, there it is again in a headline element. And then of course it's going to occur in the poem here. And once there's a new blog post, there's going to be the previous arrows leading to it. But right now from this blog post, there is a next arrow leading to it. So I get the keywords in the anchor text of a ahref, right? It's in the ahref contains anchor text between the open A tag for anchor and the close A tag for anchor. And so this page, for example, is about in defense of flying monkeys and recrimination of the anti-narc community. If I go to the page before, there's a link to it with all those keywords in it. And if I go to the page after, there's a link to it going that direction. In fact, there's two links, because when you're reading long articles from a usability standpoint, you want it to be so that when you scroll to the bottom, you have the same opportunity to navigate so that you have uninterrupted flow, right? Read the story, go to the bottom. Oh, let's see what came before it. Don't kick that football, Charlie Brown. I talk a little bit about my love for Calvin Ball, and I show the thing. If you don't know this metaphor, you got to watch it. And then the rules on how to, cure yourself of Charlie Brown syndrome. So this is my blog. I think a lot of people ought to check it out and read it. I don't use medium.com for various reasons, and I do this honestly more for myself than for anyone else. But hey, if you enjoy it, definitely spread the word. And you saw it here. Brand new poem just published right before your eyes. Honestly, Fonzie, I think that you rule. Though Henry Winkler is really who's cool. I won't start a church or treat chicks like cigars, but M. Tinklepick, you sent greetings from Mars. Of all of your lessons, what beats even Rocky and hit me most hard are the brothers Malachi, whose greasy cajoling gave rise to the hunch when Pinky starts stalling, prepare for a crunch. Not Sun Tzu nor Nietzsche or even the Prince has reached quite an audience ever or since. In my estimation, not icons nor dons even comes close to the power of fawns. Thank you. Bye-bye.